do for a while. A bunch of my friends suggested it. Sure. Plus, I got this new game. Figured I would.
I'm visiting. I hope so.
But I did. I'll upload them in a bit. But this story is a story about my cousin. So my cousin, he is not the best person in the world. He's like 19 right now, I think. Anyway, he's not the greatest apple in the bunch. Like he is. He's not. He doesn't live in a good area. Anyway, he's like 19. I think he moved out by now. But and so he told me this story the other day, and I'm just like, so here we are. So what's gonna happen is I'm gonna tell you the story about his 8th grade year. So his 8th grade year was was freaking messed up. Okay, like he had this one teacher. Let's just call him Mr. Matthews. Now, Mr. Matthews is a complete douchebag.
Someone's getting robbed.
He just doesn't, like, he would be the teacher to just, in the middle of assembly, be like, just talk about how bad the rest of us kids are, and says all that stuff about our generation and shit. Like, he'll be that kind of teacher. So anyway, Mr. Jackson is, sorry, not Mr. Jackson. I keep thinking of my friend's other teacher. But anyway, Mr. Fucking Matthews is over here, and he's like, yo, he hates when kids go to the bathroom, because if they go in the bathroom for too long, he's the fucking teacher who goes in the bathroom, takes them to the office, and says they skipped class. Like, he's that kind of dude. Like, oh, you were in the bathroom for 10 minutes, okay? You're going to the office, skipping class. Like, he'll freaking grab you off the toilet or some shit. Like, he was just sick. So, anyway, he's going over there, your phone out. Like, they hate, at his school, they hate pulling out his phone.
I know I disappointed you when I couldn't go straight, but why mess with perfection?
Found you. I think they sell rare wine here.
So, he just didn't.
Get ahead of her.
So the teacher, he tells him, yo, I need to go to the bathroom. He's like, alright, make it quick. And my cousin hates being told to make it quick to go to the bathroom. Like, in his eyes, he was like, I'm gonna take my damn time. So anyway, he goes to the bathroom. No, like I said earlier, my cousin's area, not the brightest place in the world, okay? They're not the nicest people either. So he walked in the bathroom. Now keep in mind, there's an aide outside. There's an aide right outside that like monitors the bathroom. So like her main job is to look and see who goes in the bathroom and who's coming out, and like make them do a sign-up sheet. No, like this assistant never did her job. Like, never once did she ever ask my cousin to write his name down on the sheet. Like, to be honest, all she would do would just be sit there and take like 11 o'clock naps. Like, this teacher was a fucking savage. Okay. So, this teacher was freaking sleeping. Alright, keep that in mind. Teacher sleeping. He goes in the bathroom. Right before he goes in, he just freaking smells like this god-awful smell. And when he comes in, he finds out what it is. So, what it was is a bunch of kids were in there, was in the bathroom, and they were freaking smoking weed. So, like, I forget whether he said it was a bong or a blunt, but they were just smoking weed, which is basically like a drug, for those of you who don't know. Like, it's basically for kids who just want to feel high and, you know, just don't care about life, and it's not the nicest people in the world. You get weed from pretty shady people, too, so, he was freaking in there going to the bathroom, and then this teacher, not the teacher, this kid was over there, and he was just like smoking weed, living large, and he's offering it to every kid who comes in. Luckily, my cousin was good at the time and was like, nope, I'm not getting into that shit. It's not where I want to go in life, and you know, just being smart. Never fall into peer pressure, okay, guys? Never. Okay, never fall into peer pressure. Be smart, okay? Be him in this situation. So,
I guess that's how you roll.
He is going to the bathroom in a stall, and this dude is just doesn't give a fuck about anyone. Like, he's just sitting there smoking weed, and he gets pissed. I don't know why, but he gets pissed that like no one was taking his weed. So he starts blowing the weed at the people in the urinal and in the frickin' stalls, like little creepo. And it was just looking over and just blowing the fucking smoke from his weed in there. And this dude was just an absolute dick. But my cousin was smart at the time. He got in trouble for numerous things before this, and just said, you know what, I'm gonna go straight. I'm not gonna get involved in this. So he doesn't get involved. He just gets freaking annoyed. But then the other kids, they get so pissed. Like, especially the one kid, and you'll hear more about him. Let's just call him Kevin. Now, Kevin, he is not a very nice person. He is just not a nice kid. He's like that one kid who would promise not to tell anyone about something and then would go tell someone else in 5 minutes. Like, he was just the most untrustworthy douchebag in their school. So, anyway, this dude blows the smoke at him in his stall. He starts yelling at him, he gets up out of his stall and like starts roasting him, yelling at him like, dude, I don't want your freaking cancer, okay? Just get out of here, bro. If you want to go get high, just go home, okay? And get high at home. I'm just actually sticking up for the other kids, so finally this bad guy was actually seeming to go straight. Kevin seemed to be going straight. So Kevin, being in his nature, just doesn't give a fuck. And then this dude, high as hell, you know, we gotta give him a name. Let's call him, Edward. Okay, so Edward is freaking high as hell. Eddie is freaking high as hell, and then, he's fucking high as shit. And he's trying to roast him back, but this boy literally looks like a cross between a zombie and a vampire. Like, he looks like he's completely fucked up. And so this boy's fucked up. So he's fucked up. Like, I don't know how this boy was physically, like, he wasn't even saying shit, like, he was just saying, no, bro, you should try, like, he was just throwing just, like, not really good roasts. But beside the point, he wasn't really a smart kid at all. Like, I think you would deem him, like, clinically stupid on so many levels. So this dude is freaking dumb as hell. He's just trying to fight, roast back, and then this dude, Kevin. So Kevin ends up fucking just being like, dude, leave them alone, okay? No one wants to see you smoking weed and shit. And then they start pushing each other around. Like, that's just like an indicator, hey, fight me, like, fight me. So they're like taunting each other, like saying, basically like, fight me, you pussy, and stuff like that, like. And eventually Kevin doesn't take shit from anyone. So when Eddie called him that, he was fucking, he didn't even care. He started fighting, and keep in mind, they were yelling before, like they were yelling they were yelling before everything happened, like when they were roasting each other. So that, keep in mind they were yelling. Alright, so now they're fighting, they're hitting each other. And let's just say, these are like two pretty strong people. I mean, keep in mind, the one dude's high as hell, but these are two pretty strong people and they're fighting. So, the freaking... oh my god, this story is just so funny to tell because it could have easily been avoided by this dumbass kid who decided it was smart to smoke weed at school. So this guy... is freaking... just doesn't give a fuck and starts beating him up.
Bam.
And
Big time waves.
when he's beating him up, they're yelling at each other still. Like, they were just screaming the entire time. Like, the way my cousin described it, his ears, like, were just raped. Okay, like, this was freaking loud as hell. So, they were yelling and fighting and, like, actually, like, they were actually, like, bleeding. Like, this was freaking serious. So, they were fighting, one of them was bleeding and stuff like that. And then, remember the aide outside that I mentioned in the beginning of the story? Well, the aide must have woken up from the freaking yelling, which wouldn't be surprising because they were yelling so loud. The lady outside, the aide, must have woken up, and she didn't even say anything. Like, she just grabbed the dean of students. The dean of students comes in to the bathroom. Now, keep in mind, the dean of students is a male, so he's a male dean of students, and he's not having this. He gets in there and immediately just goes to work. Like, he's trying to pry these kids apart, like, and everything, like, in between. Like, he is, like, literally, like, fighting these kids. And I think actually one of them tried to sue him or something for, like, beating him up, for trying to break up the fight. But anyway, like, the one dean of students, he's trying to break up the fight. And finally, after, like, getting, like, another teacher in there, guess who they call in? Guess who was the first teacher to show up? You guessed it, Mr. Matthews. So Mr. Matthews is going in there and he's helping take those two apart with the dean of students. So keep in mind, I'm in here and I'm like washing my hands, going to the bathrooms. My cousin's in there, sorry. My cousin's in there, he's going, washing his hands, sorry. Going to the bathroom, stuff like that. And these guys are just roasting each other, fighting. So Mr. Matthews gets in there. They finally get pried apart after like 20 minutes of fighting. 10 to 20 minutes of fighting. Finally. And then, so after that, the dean of students just says, let's just call my friend, my cousin Austin. He's like, Austin, just go back to your room. Your teacher will be in shortly. My cousin's like, okay. So he goes into his room, back into his teacher's room. 5 minutes later, he gets called up by the announcements. And it says, Austin, please report to the 7-8 office, which is like basically where the dean of students sits in their school. So he's going to the 7-8 office. He's like, fuck. Like, cause he keeps getting in trouble a lot at this school, and he just wants to get it set right. Like, he's trying to go straight, and these kids were fighting, and he's going to go into the office for it. So he's just keeping up his hopes, hoping that they're just like making him out there as a witness and tell him what happened. So he gets called to the office. Gets in there. There's the one kid, Kevin, and the other kid, Eddie. They're both in there. The two kids that fought. You don't remember. So they're both in there, which I don't know why that's a smart idea. Hey, these two kids just fought each other. Let's put them in the same room. That's a smart idea. So anyway, these guys are just giving each other like dirty stares, like fight me kind of looks. I don't even know if that's actual look, but anyway, like they just look like they hate each other, which they rightfully do, but still. So they're just looking at each other, just being douches. And then Dean of Students talks to my cousin. He's like, "Yo, can you tell us what happened?" So my cousin tells him the entire story. I'm going to go to the bathroom. Mr. Matthews comes in. And he's like, "Oh, well, that's not what Mr. Matthews said. He said that you go to the bathroom quite often. I mean, you seem to be skipping class a lot. You we have we have to send you to drug testing, like because of your record here." And my cousin just drops everything that he thought about going straight, and he's like, "Fuck this, I'm not about to get myself drug tested because these two idiots were fucking fighting in a bathroom." So this guy is like, now my cousin is yelling at the dean of students, basically the the guy who handles discipline in the school. Alright, so he's yelling at him. Granted, the dean of students can give you Saturday school, detentions. Like, he basically has the power to, like, ruin your life at this school. So anyway, he's yelling at him. He's having an argument. He's like, "I told you the story. I don't know what the hell he's talking about. I go to the bathroom, I go to the bathroom around this time. That's just what I'm used to doing, okay? That doesn't mean I went into this bathroom and just started smoking weed with this kid, okay? Fine, fucking drug test me, okay? Like, you drug test me." I'm quoting my cousin. He was like, "You drug test me, you are not gonna find shit." Like, okay, so fucking drug test me. Let's see who's the idiot. Let's see who the asshole is. And so the teacher starts to back off. The dean of students starts to back off because he's like, "Alright, if this boy is like willingly going into a drug test, like, I don't think he starts to lose his suspicions." So anyway, either way, the dean of students ends up suspending them both for a week. They actually suspended the other kid for they suspended Kevin for a week, and they suspended the other dude. They actually expelled the other dude because he was had a very big drug history at the school. So he ended up getting expelled. Eddie ended up getting expelled. Kevin got suspended for a week. And they were actually gonna put more of the blame on Kevin as well. Like, they were just trying to pass the blame around on my cousin and Kevin instead of looking at the high kid, Eddie. So they were about to blame, and then my cousin gets suspended. Now my aunt is furious. She's like, "Really? He did the drug test and nothing came back. I mean, like, he had nothing in his system, no weed, no nothing." So she ends up yelling at the school and telling them, like, this is unfair and stuff like that. And they end up putting my cousin in ISS. So if you don't know what ISS is, it's in-school suspension, which means, like, you have to sit in a room all day and just do classwork. Like, no talking. You're with, like, the worst kids of the worst in there.
So after a police officer called me out on social media for being too hard on
so
and it went people just wouldn't shut up about it, I agreed to
man, he goes to ISS, which was probably the best my aunt was gonna get for him. So he goes to ISS. Like, they were threatening to, like, expel him if, like, they didn't stop complaining about it. Because he was like, "Well, your son was involved in this, and he was an eyewitness." She's like, "Okay, he was an eyewitness. He told his story, and he's now getting suspended for that? Like, no, this is bullshit." So, he gets ISS, and then things go bad. I'll explain that in another story, but he gets ISS, and basic point, things go not the way you would want them to. Like, shit hits the fan.
Aha. I was too late to stop her
Alright.
here. But one or two more locations should give me enough data to pinpoint her hideout.
So
1034.
he ended up getting ISS, like I said. So I hope you guys enjoyed today's story time. If you did, make sure to please press that like button, and I will definitely do more story times. Who knows, maybe I'll put a story of my own in there. Anyway,
Assault reported.
hope you enjoyed today's video.
Report came back from Hamilton Heights.
This is me playing Spider-Man, this new Spider-Man game. I enjoy this game very much. It's very fun. What I'm doing is I'm making video clips of the story, the campaign in this, and I'm gonna end up uploading them in a bit, not now. But this is just a live stream of me running around because I didn't want to do any of the main story. So I will expect me to post those around, I don't know, give me a week or two to post those, you know, so I can take my time editing. I have a bunch of video clips of me playing the game, so yeah, make sure to expect those. They are on their way. So, I hope you enjoyed the video. Like I said, if you want more story times, make sure to please press that like button, and I will definitely,
Gotta narrow it down.
and just make sure to subscribe so you can catch all my content the second it airs,
Where they live,
so to catch more stories just like this
there
one.
you are. I think Lonesome Pinky lives here.
And
Stealing from a country singer.
with
She's
that
getting
being said, you guys have an amazing day, amazing night, whatever time it is where you guys are, and I will see you when I see you guys. Peace.